Hello, hello, hello.
I got my partner in crime right here next to me today.
Aw, we don't do any crimes. I love being here with you. How you been?
I've been good. It's been interesting. It's been fun. It's been scary. It's been a little bit of everything. And
It's
we're
been eventful.
it's been eventful. And now, you know, with the news that everybody heard today, I'm really glad that we decided to close our physical location down of martial arts.
We made a really good decision. That was a very calculated, very painful, stressful decision, but it was made. I think we did an accurate choice.
We were given a lot of good advice from a lot of people, right? And one of the advice was, hey guys, take a loan out, cover the rent, business is gonna pick up as usual. And it's a great idea if we weren't going through a pandemic.
Pandemic.
A pandemic.
We're
So
in the middle of a virus hunting humans.
and what happened now in China? They just discovered what?
The bubonic plague. That scares me. No, that one scares me. No, cause seriously.
The bubonic
No.
plague. This is the 21st century.
I'm gonna tell you something that really
That's what
scares me
July brought.
about the bubonic. Oh my God, that's right. Remember every month.
The July has brought the bubonic plague. Jesus Christ. I listen, I would have never thought about that. I would have never thought about
I
that.
thought we were done. I said, okay, we're kind of moving into a better.
No,
that is.
and in Florida, they discovered a brain eating amoeba.
In the water. Is that temperatures are rising?
It's hot.
It's
Been
hot. It's hotter than usual. Like I usually love the heat, but when I go outside and I'm like, whoa, it's hot, you know it's hot. Because I suffer from hypothyroid, which means I'm cold all the time. It doesn't matter when the weather could be 150 and I still feel cold. But lately I've been going out and I tell my babe, it's hot.
It's hot.
He's like, babe, it's always been like this. I'm like,
always hot.
no, it's hot. It's hotter.
I tell her, listen, we live in the swamp. It's gonna get hot.
No, it's hot. It's
hot.
hotter. So that causes the waters to get hot. And with the waters being hot, these nice viruses, amoebas, or
The bubonic plague.
yeah, it all starts coming out. But the bubonic, let's go back to the bubonic plague. That thing scares me because it doesn't matter where you're at, it can reach you. And I don't know how, but that was one of the things that always scared me when we did history in high school. Learning about the Black Death. That's what they would call it, the Black Death. Where they would take
Are we allowed to say that?
why black? That's what
Black
it's called.
Death?
Well, because your throat gets black.
Oh, okay, then yes.
Like
you can
it's
say that.
well, from what I remember in history, I haven't looked it up, but I remember that what would happen is that the coating in the throat of a person would actually turn black, and you would see black on the throat, like off the. So that's how they would know if someone was suffering from the bubonic plague, because they would tell them, let's see your throat. So if they take off a scarf or whatever they had covering, you would see it black.
Through the outside?
Yeah.
Like on your neck, or do you have to look inside?
That's what I read. I don't remember if it was in the inside or
So
the
your
outside.
neck turns black?
I guess because all the cells die off. Anyways, that's horrible. So they found that in Mongolia, China. Why does everything happen in China?
Because they eat
Is
bats.
No, or is it because of a concentrated population?
I mean, they do have a lot of people. They do have a lot of people.
But then why is India so healthy? Or not healthy in the sense of you
we don't
never
hear-
hear
we don't-
anything
you
coming
don't
out
hear
of
anything.
India
Because
because they don't eat bats.
they don't eat a lot of bad stuff, man. Like in China, in order to maintain that large population, they have to be able to eat everything.
Yeah, but
Like it's a lot of people. They have to be able to eat everything. So yes, India also has a lot of people, but supposedly they, in some areas of India, I don't think this across all of India, but in some on some places of India, you're not allowed to eat like cows and stuff like that. But in China, like dogs, bring it. Cats, bring it. Everything, bring it. We'll eat it.
Rats,
Insects,
I've seen
roaches,
rats,
scorpions, everything. Bring it. We'll eat it.
But you know what? Like, you would tend to judge if you didn't have a bigger brain and more sensitivity. But when there's how many billion people in that country?
I don't know.
I know there's a lot of billion.
I know the population of the Earth is 6 billion.
Isn't it 7? Didn't
So,
it raise?
close.
Yeah, close to 7. So let's say what China has 1/5. China and India.
Probably. Let's
And
see.
then what? The
Go for it.
United States only has 330 million people.
Let's see.
So
China population. Let's
what
look.
does South America have?
Not that many people.
Exactly.
But
Wow.
we beef.
We beef.
All right, let's see.
What, South America?
China pollution. No, I got China pollution. No, wrong pollution. Population. Spelled it wrong. There you go. China population. 1.3
Wow,
billion
that's a lot
as
of
of
people.
2018. Now
That's
let's
a lot
look
of
at
people.
now let's look at India.
I think it's close.
India population
This is the
1.3
same.
billion. Same amount of people.
So
What's the
and
difference?
I don't know.
What's the difference? What is one country doing that the other country's not doing?
It's
Because you have to be able to judge both countries because they're the ones in the billions, right? So, what are they doing differently that's creating the bubonic plague? There was something about a new swine flu that happened.
Yes.
And of course, something we all know, coronavirus.
So now it's already been 3, and we're only in the month of July.
In the month of July.
And everything coming out from that hemisphere. Oh, that part of the world.
From that part of the world.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. What is going on over there? And a country that's controlled by its government, like total control.
Yeah, it's a communist dictatorship. It's
Yeah.
a communist country.
Interesting.
Right? So there you have it, and we're only in July.
And then, so going back to the original point, which we were at, which was the closing of our business due to this virus
Oh.
that came out of China.
That's right. And
we made a pretty smart choice.
we made a smart choice. If we would have taken a loan out to pay for the rent, and Wednesday we're closing again, because or businesses like gyms, restaurants are closing. That means we would have had to close anyway. Now we would have been in debt again in rent, and in debt again, or in debt for a loan that we got to pay the rent. So the smartest thing we could have done was actually, listen, sometimes guys, you got to know, if you're digging that hole, you got to stop sometime. Keep digging that hole, it's going to get deeper. And our choice was, we just got to back out. Let's cut our losses. Done. We tried.
We did try.
We tried we opened up again in June when we were allowed to open. We wanted to see it's that the market doesn't have the confidence right now.
and
it's
we
understandable.
Completely
Get it.
understand. I get it. I do, because
So I tried teaching Zoom classes at the academy, and I had more kids on Zoom than I had kids on the mat. I did it for a week. I said it's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna put kids' lives in danger because I want to open, or because 1 or 2 or 3 parents want their kids being around other kids.
yeah,
Can't please everybody.
You can't.
And we learned that a long time ago.
that's right.
Right? Because there was points in our life where we tried to please 1 or 2 people, and at the end of the day, they ended up leaving anyway.
Exactly. So we actually made a really good decision. Kudos, proud of you.
Cheers.
It was a hard one. I mean, all the stuff from SKC is now in our house. So that's been a doozy. But you know what? I think that by making an educated, grown up, big boy and big girl decision, we cut our losses. Because imagine, we would have been in the hole, what, 6 months?
6 months. 6 months.
And getting a loan, which is going to collect interest, which then is going to hurt you even more.
Yeah.
Because right now, if certain bills can't get paid or whatever's happening, I think there's going to be some leniency. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, we're trying our best. I think everybody's trying their best.
We're not a bank. Only banks get bailed out.
So exactly. So
If I was a bank, I'll be very happy. I'll be like, you know what? The government's going to come in. They're going to bail me out. They bail me out once. They're going to bail me out again. A martial arts academy, a kids clubhouse,
no bailouts.
the government ain't going to come, hey, we're going to bail you out because parents need you, or because you're doing really good. No. They're not going to do that. They're going to bail out the people who have a lot of money.
Tons of money. And the sad thing is that we get hurt and we get compromised in the sense of monetary we lose. It doesn't matter which short, which end of the stick we get, it's always a short one
Yep.
for the small businesses. And I think that this second round of closures here in Miami is to completely shut down businesses. What are people gonna do?
But they're shutting down businesses, but yet the Florida Educational Commissioner came out and said he's making it mandatory for schools to reopen in August.
That's right. And I know everybody's gonna start yelling, yeah, but every mayor has the decision, or every local official has the
But
decision.
that puts pressure on mayors across the state.
That put pressures on parents, because parents
What do you do?
They need to either go to work and have a place to take care of their kids, or they don't go to work, and then what happens? I mean, it's not like they're giving you any leniency on your mortgages. They're not. They're giving you the options are as follows. You either take the mortgage, from what I've heard and what I've read, you either take your mortgage and you tag it out to the end. Those are good mortgage companies. But our mortgage company is telling us, oh, no, no, no. We'll give you 3 months of no payment. But on the third month, once you're up, you got to pay all those 3 months. If you don't, we take you to foreclosure. That's what our bank is doing. So it's like, or you don't pay. You don't pay up.
So stop paying.
So it's like, what do?
Start paying little by little, meaning continue with your mortgage, paying it the way you are.
Yeah.
Or have to pay 3 months all at once. That's hard. Regardless if there was a pandemic or no pandemic.
It doesn't matter how you slice or dice that bad boy. It's hard to swallow. It doesn't matter. So that's the situation that everybody's in. So poor parents.
But what I've been seeing from a lot of parents, or what I've been reading from a lot of parents, that they don't want to send their kids to school.
Do we want to send our son to school?
I don't think I want to send my son to school either.
Listen, I know that we've discussed this, and I think that it's, in my opinion, it makes sense. If my child is going to go to school to only do mandatory subjects like math, reading, social studies, and science, and not be able to interact socially with other kids, not be able to stand up and walk around to their next class and kind of be somewhat normal, not be able to do any extracurricular activity, and not being able to do any special programming for like the program that he got accepted to, which was drama, where he was going to be doing performances or learning how to become an actor or learning how to act, what's the point?
You can do that from home.
Exactly.
But not every parent has that luxury of being able to keep their child home. And we also have an older child who can stay home alone.
That's right.
If needed. But we've spoken about this in the past. What are you going to do with the kids who are in elementary school, pre-K, kinder, first grade, and parents are scared to send them to school, but they have to send them to school because they have to go to work?
Exactly.
Because school serves double purpose. One, yes, education. But the second purpose is free childcare.
And I think...
And it's not free because we pay taxes.
And you know what? I think number 2 is more important than number 1. Yeah. Because if we live like back in the days where one parent worked and the other parent stood home, it'd be a lot easier for a parent to educate their child. And you know what would have been the beauty of it? It would have been that you can actually educate your child to your liking and cater them to how you want them to be. Is that probably why people were so good and so kind-hearted back in the days?
But they knew how to teach. You see, you can't tell a parent. Teaching is a very hard profession. Like, just teaching is hard. You may think you know how to teach, but try teaching.
That's true.
Try teaching somebody that doesn't know how to learn.
Oh, teaching them how to learn.
That's why elementary schools it's so important, because kids are learning how to learn. Nobody knows how to learn. They get to understand how to learn, and then once they go to middle school and high school, they start learning how to do their own research because they know how to find the answers. They learned how to learn.
Exactly.
But if you don't know how to teach a child how to learn,
then it's tough.
You guys are going to clash heads, and then number one, it's going to create abuse in households, because parents, listen, there's a lot of talk out there, and there's a lot of programs that hey, don't hit your kid, don't hit your kid, don't hit your kid. But it's because most parents are not dealing with kids all day long.
That's right.
And when life becomes stressful and bills are piling up because you cannot make it to work, and you're trying to teach a child to work, and you have the stress and trying to find your own time, because having your own time is so precious. just to either go on social media or read the news or have a glass of wine. But when you have to be there overlooking over something constantly, now there's many parents out there that can do that, 100%. They can do that easily. But there's a lot of parents out there that don't know how to teach and don't know how to...
Or have the patience.
They don't have the patience. And that's why you see all these memes when school's about to start. Yes, I get to send my kids off to school. You see it every beginning of every school year. You see two kinds of posts. You see kids, parents taking pictures of the first day of school.
Because they're so happy the kids are going back.
But everybody's happy that the kids are going back to school. Why? Because they can't deal with them. And listen, you got to be honest, man. Parents don't like to deal with the kids. That's why school's so important, because it's a child care where they can send them not for 1-2 hours.
8.
Up to 8 hours, sometimes 9 if they're going to after schools and stuff. They don't have to deal with their kids. They deal with them at home. They feed them. They'll check their books, make sure that's good, but you're not teaching them that.
Then that's probably why society is the way it is.
Maybe that's why society is the way it is. You hit a good point.
Because we're not being empathetic and we're not teaching that to our kids. And listen,
but who's teaching the parents?
Exactly. No one is.
It's not about just teaching the kids.
Time.
I tell my martial arts students this all the time. That in life, my meaning of life, everybody has a meaning of life, is you learn, you implement, you teach. Because you can learn on YouTube how to change a water pump. But if you don't actually do the physical aspect of it, of actually going into the motor and changing the water pump, you can never show anybody else how to do it. You have to be able to know how to implement. You have to implement. And once you implement and you make your own mistakes or you figure out your own way, then you can teach it.
Exactly.
But if you can go on YouTube and figure out, hey, how am I going to teach my first grader multiplication or math or reading? You can learn it all day on YouTube. But until you actually put it into play, you really don't know it.
That's true.
You don't know it until you actually sit with your child and try teaching them how to read. And so, should they open up schools? Yes, because a lot of kids are going to suffer. And a lot of kids need school. And a lot of kids get their meals from school. Not every child is as privileged as some neighborhoods.
That's true.
They don't get good nutritional food. I'm not saying they're going to get it in school either, but they're going to get some type of food.
And they'll at least get 2 meals.
And they're
2 complete meals.
They'll get 2 complete meals. And they're going to get people that have learned how to teach and have a track record on teaching.
Oh, that's subjective, right?
It is, right? Because it's hard to teach, man.
It is.
It's not easy to teach somebody.
You have some teachers that love it and enjoy it, and some teachers
and they do it with passion.
Yeah. But you know what? There's more good ones than bad ones. So
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
Good.
But when it comes to parents teaching it,
yeah, that's
it's tough if you've never done it. If you've never done it. So, do we need the schools? Yes. The schools need to be closed and parents not send their kids to school? That's also a yes.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
They're both right.
So kind of then what they're doing is going to make sense, right? They're
half
making,
and half?
They're exactly.
For those that need
like
it?
a hybrid. For those who really need to go to school, should go to school. Like for all those parents that I'm seeing on my Facebook, which I know a lot of them are stay-home moms, if you're sending your child to school and you can stay home and actually teach your child, I think that's messed up because you're taking up the space of someone who actually needs to go to school. Because what's going to happen is that if 75%, from what I've read, if 75% or more kids or parents say that their kids are going to be going to a physical location, school, then they're going to have to adopt the hybrid where some days they go to school and some days they stay home. Or some days they go to school and then the other days are distant learning. But if those parents that actually can stay home with their kids, stay home with your kids, even if it's hard or you don't know how to do it, I think that it's our time to stand up as parents that have that time and that privilege and keep your child home. And you try to teach them, because there's going to be parents out there that really, really need to send their kid to school. So they should be...
But if you're planning on teaching, you better learn how to teach now.
Yeah. Well, you have 6 weeks.
You got
6 or 7.
You got about six weeks. You better start learning how to teach, because yes, it's all fun and games at first, and the idea is exciting, But until you're actually teaching your child one-on-one, and remember, the way your child behaves with you and the way your child behaves with an educator is two completely different things, right? Because he's going to tell you, no, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And with the teacher, be like, well, everybody else, all the other kids are doing it, so they follow along with what everybody else is doing. So if the majority, if I have a karate class and most of my kids are standing straight, that one kid that parent came in, yeah, well, he's kind of hyperactive, he doesn't listen that much. Yeah, with you at home. But when he's with a group of kids, you don't want to be the oddball. And us as humans, we understand that. We understand that we don't want to be the oddball out. So when they're alone, my own son, he's freaking amazing. But with us, he behaves a lot different than how he behaves in school, in the public,
I agree.
with other kids. It's night and day. I bet you behave a lot different with your spouse and with your kids than what you give everybody else. Most likely, everybody I know, I've probably met your representative. I haven't really met the real you.
You always do.
And with me too, guys, I behave a lot different at home than I behave when I'm teaching a karate class. All right? So start learning how to teach. Start learning that stuff because it's coming. It's coming and you might need it. And we've worked with children. And I know a lot of teachers out there who are watching this are going to agree with us that it's not an easy thing to do. Especially your own kids, because some of the hardest people I've ever had to teach has been my own family. It's true. How many times you quit on me teaching karate, right? She learned karate with me and I taught her, right? And I taught her karate, but you quit on me at least a dozen times. That's it. Karate's your thing. Karate's not my thing. I quit. I'm done.
I sure did, but I never did because I became a black belt.
But she became a black belt. She still stuck it through and she went through, but she quit on me a whole bunch of times.
That's tough.
It's tough. So even with my own son, it was hard at first. My son started
quit a whole bunch of times too.
My son, I kicked him out of class. I kicked him out. I usually start kids at 4 years old, right? He started at 4 years old. A week later, I kicked him out. I told him, I said, he's not ready. He can't join the class. I kicked him out.
You would call him Daddy. Daddy.
Daddy.
Daddy.
Look at me. Daddy.
Am I doing it right?
Listen, everybody else needs attention too. But when you're one-on-one at home with your child, it can get tough. Maybe it won't, right?
Well, that's what you hope, right?
I hope it doesn't. Guys, I hope it goes great and you guys freaking
and
love
it.
And your child loves it and your child learns and it becomes such a pleasurable experience that it might become your new normal. But it's tough.
It is.
It's tough. It's tough. So start learning, start figuring out certain tactics, and learn how to de-escalate certain scenarios because you don't want to, because one voice gets higher, another voice gets higher, another voice gets higher, another voice gets higher. You have to be able to.
You have to be able to stay calm.
Stay calm and in control. In control especially. Because listen, teachers raise their voices all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Teachers be screaming at your kids.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Johnny!
What are you doing? Why are you acting like a moron?
I don't know if they'll say moron.
I heard that.
But listen, don't think teachers don't scream at your kids. They have to. And listen, and my son came at us once and said, so and so teacher yelled at me today. I said, you probably deserved it.
What'd you do?
What did you do?
And then you can tell us this. Well,
I would have done.
I would have yelled at you too.
I would have yelled at you too. Listen, I spoke rough to my kids in the quiet square in front of their parents. Parents, you guys, I allowed every single parent to stay there in class and watch our karate classes. And sometimes I had to tell the kid, hey, stand straight, right?
You got ants in your pants?
You got ants in your pants? Why can't you stand straight? How come you're the only one licking the floor? Nobody else licking the floor. We put our feet there.
Oh, my goodness. Right? How long do you think this is going to last? I say to the end of 2022.
Because even if they bring out a vaccine, even if are you going to be the guinea pig that takes the first shot? And there's a flu shot, but people still get the flu.
Of course, because it turns into different strains.
There's a different strain of the flu. What about if this coronavirus?
Well, it has mutated. They say.
So we don't know that part. Let's see what happens. Let's just hope this. Listen, let's prepare for the worst and expect the best.
So the funny thing is that on top of us getting shut down on Wednesday, technically another round of small businesses going down the toilet for a few.
And we got grounded.
We got grounded. Time out.
They call it curfew, but I call it being grounded because I'm a grown man.
I call it time out.
You call it timeout. I call it being grounded. I'm grounded. That's it. I can't go out. I'm not gonna go out to party.
Oh man, we're not gonna be able to walk the dog.
Oh, that's right, because it's 9:40 something, and if I'm out past 10 o'clock, I'm gonna get in trouble because I can't walk my dog. There's nobody outside. I can't walk my. There's nobody ever outside in our neighborhood.
What do you think will happen?
Everything is there. So if I get caught outside walking our dog, or we get caught, or at 5:30 in the morning when nobody's outside, I'll be in trouble because I'm grounded. But I'm a grown man, and
What do you think they'll do to us? Or do you think they'll slap the handcuffs?
they'll probably arrest me or they'll ticket me.
$500 I heard.
500. So let's go walk the dog real quick. Guys, it was great talking to you guys. We're going to walk the dog before we get punished more and I get grounded. And let's not forget our mask. All right, guys. Peace.
Peace.
We're out. Bye, guys.